Yo, still Bills, what's the deal, man? Yo, I'm fresh off the clock, man. They kind of played me on that one. I was trying to get up out of there a hell of a lot earlier. We was set to be off around about 2:30. We got back to the shop. Not even 2:30. Yeah, it was like 2 something when we got back to the shop. And as I'm down the street from the shop, they telling me I got a 911 route to run. I'm not really not too thrilled about that, man. I'm a little aggy about that, but it is what it is, man. But other than that, peep game, we got to get into this shit, man. Because I just, I watched a video from the IBFP earlier today. Shout out to Nuke, and he said Sean Porter had said that Canelo Alvarez is a B plus plus fighter or whatever. And I went and watched the Porter Way podcast or whatever, at least that clip of it, and I'm not like it's not as bad as Nuke was making it out to be what it is that he said. I'm not doing that at all, but my thing is this: when you say somebody is what he said is he's a B plus plus fighter or whatever, and the points that he made was due to his stamina, which even if by your estimation he was A plus fighter back in those days. Back in those days, he still was dealing with stamina issues, and the second Golovkin fight, and the Danny Jacobs fight, and I don't know if he meant like his undisputed run or whatever the case may be, but he definitely said he's not the A plus fighter that he once was. But my thing is, if you're gonna use that as a slight against his grade as a fighter, then it's kind of null and void because stamina issues has always been something that he's always been known to have. And then when you speak on the fight with Golovkin, it was a lack of game planning how he went in there with Golovkin, and he looked like he fought the same way he fought in the first 2 fights. I mean, shit, Jesus Christ. When you win the fight, you don't have to make. I mean, the opponent has to adjust to what it is that you was able to do that got you the victory in the first place. Golovkin won in Mexican style. Canelo gave him Mexican style and out Mexicaned him because he's Mexican. So I've already taken your best. I've been in the ring with we swap punches for 24 rounds. What other game plan do I have to make? And the thing is, what people are failing to realize is Canelo was going in there to knock that dude out. So he didn't go in there and fight a smart fight. I'm the first one to say that. He didn't go in there and fight a smart fight. And he didn't look good doing it either. But people aren't unpacking the situation in totality. They're just like, oh man, he went in there and he just like, no, dude, he went in there to knock him out. He just came up short. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Like, Jesus Christ, bro. And then, when you get to the John Ryder fight, what did he say about the John Ryder fight? So, I think he said something along the lines of stamina issues or whatever. My thing is this: when you are an A plus fighter, there is no A plus. There's always going to be, unless you're talking about somebody like a Floyd Mayweather who just really covered all bases. Most of your A plus fighters are going to have flaws. There's going to be drawbacks to their game. Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. is my official GOAT. Tyson's my unofficial GOAT. Roy Jones is my official GOAT. Roy wasn't technically proficient as a fighter. That's why when his athleticism dissipated, you started to see him get touched a lot more. You started to see him get dropped. You started to see him get knocked out. But him at his peak, it's undisputed he was an A plus fighter. Fast feet, fast hands, good combination puncher, good defense off the rope, good counter puncher, good body puncher, prolific body puncher. Dude was a big puncher and a multi-weight division champion, man. There's no way you can sit here and tell me he's not an A plus fighter just because he was far more fundamentally flawed than someone like a Canelo Alvarez. I think it, just where people sit at with Canelo right now is just kind of like, yo, this is ridiculous right here. This is ridiculous right here. And what brags you to me that much more is he signed to fight the fighters that y'all swear to God that he's ducking. How does that work? I don't understand it. It's like y'all begged for the man to fight these motherfuckers, and now that he signed that contract, y'all are reluctant that he signed the contract for 3 fights. There's still people double second guessing him fighting David Benavidez. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, this shit it's insane to me, man. Canelo at this point in time is an undisputed world champion. He is an undisputed world champion. And as I stated before, it was the same with Bud. When Bud fought Avanesyan, yeah, Avanesyan got stopped by a dude that Bud had stopped. But stoppage just happened in the sport. You know what I'm saying? And after years of competing, if you go on a streak, you're going to win fights. You're going to work yourself back into title contention. Avanesyan worked his way back up until, I want to say, the 6th in the division. John Ryder was the second or third, and he only sat behind David Benavidez. And the gap in skill and talent between those two, John Ryder and Canelo, and David Avanesyan and Bud, is night and day. Nobody, everybody's so caught up on, well, I never heard of John Ryder. If you've never heard of John Ryder, you're just simply not watching enough boxing. It's a global sport. You don't get to say somebody's a bum just because they're not from America or they haven't made a big enough splash in America that you haven't heard of. That's not my problem. That's a you problem. You have to start watching fights overseas. That's just the end all be all. And with that being said, that man completely separated himself between himself and Ryder, between himself as the champion and fighting the number 2 or 3 ranked fighter in the division. Bud between the champ, the WBO champion, and the number 6 ranked fighter in the division. It's night and day. I separated myself. That's just what it is. You don't get to tell me that. You don't get to say that I'm not fighting nobody just because these dudes ain't from America. Because at this point in time, in those divisions, or in the middleweight and the super middleweight division, the talent pool is putrid. And that's just me being real about it. These niggas ain't fighting enough. They're not fighting enough, man. And my thing is this, one of the dudes on there says something about Andre, like if Canelo was to fight Andre, he thinks it'd be something like a Lara fight where Lara, a lot of people feel that Lara was winning, but because of the pressure that Canelo was applying in the fight and tapping the body, that, oh man, it's going to be reminiscent of that. And I'm like this, how? Who has he showed that against? I'm really getting tired of people talking about Andre. Oh man, he's a slickster. He's the slick black. Who has he proven this against? Andre has not been in there with anybody who can exploit him opening up as wide as he does on big shots in the pocket. He has never been in a position where somebody can, it's timing, opening up and clip him. Nobody has ever been able to do. He's never been in the ring with somebody who's able to exploit those lead uppercuts at mid-range. It's not even an up jab. He's throwing an uppercut. Like how Berlanga was doing against Quigley. Quigley was able to punish Berlanga for it. He wasn't able to punish Andre for it though. But even then, Quigley is not of the ilk of a lot of any champion. So who has he proven this against for me to sit here and surmise that it would look like Lara? Lara has been in with Paul the Punisher Williams, dog. Paul Williams. That dude was a cheat code at 147 pounds. And he was robbed in that fight. Everybody knows that. So I'm supposed to sit here and say that he would beat somebody, or like that he would give somebody of Canelo's ilk who's far more progressed than what he was against Lara. I'm supposed to sit here and say that Demetrius Andrade in there with Canelo Alvarez will look reminiscent of how he looked with Lara. That fight will go just like how Lara looked. Well, he hasn't been in there with the dude hasn't even fought a former world champion yet. I don't understand how we can sit there and gloss over that as if that's not a big deal. What type of champion, not just a champion in one division, but he's been through 2 divisions. What type of champion has not been in there with another champion? Former sitting Jamal Charlo has at least fought Bundridge. He's at least fought him. His win over J-Rock is aging well. Why? Because J-Rock would eventually become a champion. What does it say about this dude? Like, that I don't understand how just people. This just goes to show you how bad people feed in the narratives. They feed in the narratives, and it's just like, y'all. This is really what we doing. This is really what we doing. Man, hold up. I gotta go in. Well, actually, let me see something real quick. Um, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Pause. Yeah, man. I'm back, man. But yeah, like the fuck I was saying, man. The propaganda and the narratives, man. Eventually, they have to come to a standstill, man. Because I can't take it no more, man. Like, what does it say about a dude who is a two division champion, has not even fought another champion, a former world champion? Niggas just sweep that shit under the rug just to, the whole one over Canelo's head or whatever. And I'm just sitting here like, yo, how are y'all not seeing? How are y'all not like? What is it that this dude is doing that y'all see him as this incredible fight? Is he a good fighter? Yes, I do think Demetrius Andrade is a really good fighter, but to the degree in which you niggas is dragging it, no. How do we just casually gloss over a dude who has dethroned a multitude of world champions and big up a nigga who has never even been in the ring with one? I don't understand it. Yeah, man. Yeah. Like, my bad. I'm over here making my food runs for the day. But yeah, man. I can't for the life of me understand it, man. It's bothering me, honestly. And it comes to a lot of people, it comes off as coonish. My man always tells me, man, you belong on one of them like the 4chan sites or whatever, where they say a lot of denigrating shit about black people. And that's the road that people take when it's time to hold certain fighters accountable, or you're or at least black fighters, and you're a lot more boisterous about about the lack of skill that they have. And I'm not saying that Andrade is a skillless fighter, because I think if Andrade was as tight and compact as a fighter as someone like a Caleb Plant, I definitely see him giving Canelo Alvarez a good fight. I would. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it. I don't see him being able to hold up, I don't see his punch resistance, being able to hold up and get him through the fight. I don't see his skill set being able to get him through the fight, because he makes a lot of mistakes. I don't get I just feel like people are overly doing the Demetrius Andrade thing to keep, to push this narrative that the dude is not fighting black fighters or whatever the case. I don't think a lot of these niggas are really. I don't think they believe that, because there's no way that you could. There's no way you can convince me otherwise, bro. Like, you really believe that Andrade is capable of beating of making Canelo look like he did against Lara? Y'all really believe that? There's no fighter in that division, in any other division under, that is capable of making him look the way that he looked against Lara, where he's flat-footed, he can't cut off the ring until later on in the fight. And even in that fight, he started cutting off the ring later in the fight. What are we talking about here? You can say, oh, Lara won that fight. You can feel Lara got robbed. I think Lara won the fight. I do. But I understand why they gave it to Canelo. When you can pin a mobile fighter to the rope and do great body work, tap the body, if you're throwing 6 punches and only 2 land out of the 6, or 1 land out of the 6, it's activity that's getting you by. 6 punches automatically usurps. It's far greater than 2-punch combination, 2-shot bursts. That's all that Lara was throwing. That's all he ever throws, which is dope, because he was one of my favorite fighters to watch. He was an incredible technician. But he's only letting 2 shots go. You're gonna let 2 shots go in comparative to 6, and being pinned on the ropes. Oh, here we go, right here. Hold on real quick. Got baby getting my motherfucking grub. Thank you very much. Yeah, but thank you. Oh shit. But 2-shot bursts, and I just don't get it, bro. How somebody can sit there and be that dismissive of that fact? Because they don't give a fuck about the facts. I mean, I've been hearing for years. Oh man, Lara, Andre, Canelo don't want to fight Andre because he don't want the flashbacks of Floyd Mayweather. And I'm hearing people parrot this shit, and I'm like, y'all are comparing Demetrius Andre to Floyd Mayweather. Far better feet, far better balance between offense and defense, far sharper counterpuncher, far sharper jab, far better feet, far better defense. I'm like, man, I've heard people say that Vanes Martirosyan is one of his best wins, which I think it is. Because look who Vanes Martirosyan has been in with. He's been in with Lara twice. Fought Golovkin. But this is what people don't understand. Vanes Martirosyan and Golovkin, that was a stay busy fight for Golovkin to keep him on ice until Canelo came back around. And they pulled him up. Vanes Martirosyan sat Andre down. Sat him down. Now, anybody, these is trained boxers. They know how to get maximum leverage behind their shot. They know how to get the entire body weight behind their shot. But when you swap punches with certain caliber punchers, you're not getting sat down by nobody like a Vanes Martirosyan. What the fuck makes you think I stand in front of Golovkin for 24 rounds? No. What's 3 and 20? What's 3 times 12? Let me see. 12, 24. I stand in front of a Golovkin for 36 rounds and never touched the canvas. But you get sat down by a dude who was used as a stay busy fight for someone that I already beat. That is wicked to me. Another one of his good wins is Liam Williams. Liam Williams got outlined in chalk by Liam Smith, who Canelo eviscerated. Liam Williams was never in that fight, and it was so much of a lopsided fight that people was like, he's cherry picking, he's a bum, which that victory ended up aging well because look who Liam Smith is beat. He just stopped fucking Chris Eubank Jr. The same Chris Eubank Jr. who Andre went on a fucking tirade begging drunk in his driveway to fight. What the fuck is we doing, my nigga? There's no way anybody in their rights who is sensible about the sport of boxing is going to tell me Andre is capable of making Canelo look the way that he looked against Lara or Floyd Mayweather Jr. You are lying if you believe that. You are lying if you believe that. You don't believe that. You do not believe that. I just, there's no way you can convince me that you believe that. So let's put that narrative to bed. So now we get to Benavidez, and it just bothers me. It bothers me just how people they're so quick to run with shit and disregard what it is that a fighter that they want to fight the younger fighters. That you can disregard what he's still doing in the now, and just really stay fixated on a fighter that you're overly. And that's another thing one of the brothers on there said, man, he's taking Canelo was taking the Floyd route, but he's doing it in a more impressive way or whatever, man. Like, and the first thing they go to is a John Ryder. I bet. Okay, you want to go to John Ryder, and then when you go to Bivol, yeah, he lost. He lost to Bivol. But you can't say that he's doing a far less job than what Floyd was able to do because he jumped up and fought Bivol in his own hood. His division, I mean. He jumped right in that man's pool and said, let's run that. Floyd didn't. No, bro. Floyd fought a very young Canelo. Champion, yeah. In his prime, no. Bivol's in his prime. And Canelo, this isn't to denigrate Floyd's win over Canelo Alvarez neither. I don't want nobody saying, thinking that that's the time that I'm on, because I'm not. But I'm just highlighting the difference between the two. You don't get to say you don't get to say that he's not doing it because Floyd is undefeated. And no, Canelo jumped up to fight Bivol. He lost. It is what it is. It is what it is. So you don't get to tell me that he's not fighting the motherfuckers. He's doing a more diluted version of what Floyd is doing. That's very unfair. That's very unfair. And that's only his first man. That's well, nah, he's honored. He's fought 2 Mandos. He's talking Abney Yildirim, get him out the way. Now I'm on the bigger and better things, and then John Ryder. The thing is, as I've stated before, John Ryder, it had any of these fighters that they swear is that Canelo was ducking, had any of them 3 fighters fought somebody like John Ryder, that would be used as a reason as to why Canelo needs to fight him, because he just beat John Ryder. It's the energy is just so it's just so like y'all niggas y'all can't keep a lie straight, and it's aggravated. People are overly high on David Benavidez because mainly what he did to David Lemieux, which I don't understand, because I'm like, all right, as I've stated before, y'all gave him full credit for beating a David Lemieux, but Canelo got the shit into the stick when he beat goddamn Golovkin, who beat David Lemieux, who was a far more accomplished fighter, took David Lemieux's belt from him, and was a unified world champion. Did he move up? Yeah, he pulled him up, absolutely. I don't cite that third fight. I honestly don't, but I'm just giving y'all, I'm just unpacking shit for y'all in totality. I don't cite that third fight. I don't. But David Lemieux is not a natural 168 pounder. What the fuck did he do at 168 pounds? It's acceptable for Benavidez to beat the shit out of David Lemieux, but it's a cherry pick for Canelo to beat on the dude who beat David Lemieux and took his belt from him years ago. Like, how does this make sense? David Lemieux was way past it. Did Benavidez beat on Caleb Plant? Yeah, sure he did. He absolutely did. However, that was after 6 rounds when Caleb Plant was exhausted. Where in the fight did Caleb Plant ever stay away from Canelo? He was never able to keep distance between him and Canelo at any point in that fight. And he still got wheeled to the ropes and chopped down and stopped. You want to take the fight out of the judge's hands so you don't get a Lomachenko situation, man. David didn't do that. He didn't do that. Canelo did. Damn, yeah, I saw Benavidez go 12 rounds with Caleb Plant, yeah. David Benavidez had to fight back in that fight. He had to overcome losing early rounds. He lost 5 rounds clearly the first fight. You can't even say that shit was a draw, because Caleb Plant dominated him this first 6 rounds. So how is it that David Benavidez is going to spank Canelo? Caleb Plant doesn't fight in the pocket. You see what he was doing? Every time he would get in close, he'd wrap up instead of cutting angles. You want to walk him into shots. All right, cool. That takes a lot more energy than you simply getting on the balls of your feet and pivoting out. You're still there. You'll spend far less energy getting on the balls of your feet of your lead foot and pivoting out to create an angle that you have to force your opponent to reset to. That takes a lot less energy to do than someone who's consistently just fighting off of the back foot, looking to walk you into shots, stepping in and stepping back out. And when he starts to get a head full of steam, wrapping him up. I don't get it, man. And this just goes to show, yeah, I love it, because it shows that fighters are fans of the sport as well, and they have the ear of a lot of content creators, or a lot of content creators have their ear. Let me say that. They have their ear. I think that's dope. I think that's dope. I real life do. I think that's dope. But it just it's like, it gets to a point where it's just like, yo, man, this is getting childish. My man said David Benavidez would spank Canelo based on what? Based on what? The shoe shining and all that? Like, what outside of stamina, what do y'all see from David Benavidez? You see size and you see stamina. What are you seeing from this dude that's saying, yo, Canelo don't want to stand in front of that? Because I'm not seeing nothing. With the exception of stamina. I don't see immaculate defense. I do not see good feet. I do not see good punch placement. I do not see good variation of punches. I don't see a lot of that I don't see counter punching. I don't see IQ. I don't see none of this shit. I don't see any of this shit. David Benavidez was not able to drop Caleb Plant. David Benavidez in there with Kyron Davis was gassed because he could not drop this dude. Kyron Davis was durable, but he wasn't punishing David for a lot of the shit that he was doing. That man was going wildly inactive in that fight just trying to survive. That's like what are we doing? And he was pulled up as well. He said, I'm going back down to 160. He wasn't, because he fought Darrell at 68, so that is what it is. But he doesn't belong at 168 pounds. Nobody can give me an estimation as to why they think David Benavidez is going to beat Canelo. I've been arguing with people, oh man, David Benavidez, he ducking David Benavidez. How? What threat is David Benavidez to Canelo for me to say that Canelo needs to stay away from him? I've yet to see it. And the disrespect for this dude, it's like it hasn't dissipated at all because people are still looking for reasons to throw salt. Never mind, he signed a 3-fight deal. I said, man, he just, why couldn't he fight Benavidez first? Oh my fucking God. So now him fighting him, they have to fight in the order in which you want them to fight. Okay. Up until recently, we could have swore David Benavidez was getting in there with David Morrell. That was, that's what we was all saying. And he just did an interview talking about we offered him $45 million. I don't know why he's so scared to fight me. Oh, so you're privy to that $45 million alleged offer. I don't, whatever the fuck ever. You're privy to that, but you're not privy to Samson Lukowicz saying broadcasting it. He's penciled in to fight David Morrell after he fights Caleb Plant. If he wins. You heard nothing of that, but you heard about that $45 million. I can't deal with you dudes, bro. I cannot deal with you dudes. It's weirdo energy, man. It's weirdo energy. It is weirdo energy. I don't know why he's so scared. He's so scared to fight me? He's not scared to fight. You're nobody to be scared of, bro. What the fuck? Look, dude. I paid the cost to be the boss. I put in my pain. He put in his pain. And he goes through all of that shit just to think y'all think he's supposed to bow down to y'all? You niggas got it twisted, Brody. Y'all niggas got it twisted. And it ain't just the the fighters, it's the fans as well. Shawn Porter, bro, what are you talking about? He's a D++ fighter. Because you see lack of game planning and stamina issues. He's always been known for dodgy stamina. He's always been known for that. In that fight with John Ryder, he went in there to off that man's head. The dude is durable. Couldn't knock him out. He tried. Broke his nose. John Ryder wasn't going. Give that man his credit. Salute that man. Salute him. He can't get rid of John Ryder. He drops John Ryder 3 times. Can't get rid of him. He's slipping. He's showing signs of slippage. David Benavidez goes in there with a dude that he did stop, and David Benavidez is still dubbed the Mexican Monster. That makes no fucking sense. John Ryder is more battle-tested than both of them dudes because of the caliber of competition he's been in there with. Callum Smith, Danny Jacobs, what's my man name? Billy Joe Saunders, Zach Parker. Now Canelo, he's far more battle tested than these dudes. He is a good, durable fighter. But because he couldn't get rid of him, he's showing signs of slippage. While David Benavidez is going 12 rounds with a dude who Canelo stopped in 11 rounds. Not to mention, he completely isolated David Benavidez's forward attack, muted his offense. That gets swept under the rug as if I had a nigga tell me I couldn't even really give Caleb Plant 3 rounds, bro. I said I can't even talk to you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And then the final thing that we're gonna speak, as I've said before, y'all, man, you coming back and fighting Charlo at the most inopportune time, nigga. Nobody told that man to sit down for 2 years. Furthermore, nobody told that man. Nobody told y'all. Y'all kept bringing that man's name up. I said it in another video. Y'all bring that nigga's name up. Every time Canelo had a fight, he was one of the 3 names mentioned. Now that he's getting the fight, y'all are mad about him getting the fight. When y'all should have just, hey, tell that man to get active. At least, I mean, shit, man, you couldn't have got no touch-ups, no stay busy fights. And they're not even stripping you. Carlos Adames is begging them niggas to strip you and put that belt in the hands of an active fighter. Y'all say nothing about that. All that shit is once again, damn. All that shit once again is swept up under the rug. Because for y'all to denigrate and hold the fighters that y'all are using to shame Canelo Alvarez's feet to the fire, it will go against the narrative, bro. That is asinine to me. That is ridiculous. Keep the same fucking energy, man. That's what it all boils down to. And call the shit straight down the middle. Call the shit straight down the middle, man. Stop fanboying. I was getting frustrated with Canelo as well. And I'm going to keep shit a stack. I didn't want these fighters on the PBC, man, because I feel like the minute these fights go down, like it's a nice little influx of cash going on at the end, at the PBC. Al Heyman is doing good work this year. Al Heyman is doing great work this year. He's doing great work. But the minute he feels he's back on top to where he was in 2015, 2016, 2017, we go back to the bullshit. We go right back to the bullshit. And we start getting bullshit fights again. So I'm just at a point where I'm ready for these niggas. I'm ready for that it can't go. I'm ready for that flagship to dissipate, bro. Cause I'm past tired of them, man. And I'm just gonna come out and be real about it, and I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. And I'm gonna tell you, I don't give a fuck how you feel about it. So what I want to say about the Porter Gray podcast, I done already said, and I just, I said what I said. And y'all dudes, with the narratives and the propaganda that y'all push, y'all have to do better, because a lot of the shit that y'all say is it's unacceptable, man. It's unacceptable, and it's just downright ridiculousness, man. So Canelo was over there, and we finna find out what's gonna happen in these next 3 fights. And we shall see, man. That's all I gotta say about it, man. Deuces.